I don't ever want to look back in my life and say, hey, I should have done this or I could have done this, and that's kind of how I got into MMA. I wanted to fight the guys like Couture, Liddell, Tito Ortiz. I just want to have one of them on my resume. I'm an MMA fan just as much as I'm a fighter. I want to be a champion. I want to hold the belt. I go out there every time and give it my best, and if I do that, I know I can be successful.
Ryan Bader wants a belt, a rising star in the firmament of mixed martial arts. Bader had the credentials for an eventual title run. A champion of the Ultimate Fighter reality series, Bader was undefeated in the UFC going into his last fight. And then he met a fighter in the cage whose star was on the same trajectory as his. His name? John Jones. Jones beat Bader soundly, and then used the momentum of that fight to secure a title shot against Mauricio Shogun Rua.
I felt like a different fighter in there. Every time I went forward, felt like he was 10 feet back, and getting taken down and fighting off my back is something that I actually haven't done in UFC. And really couldn't just get anything going. You just saw what he did to Shogun, and nobody's ever done that before. Maybe it's him. Hopefully one day I'll get a shot at him again.
The UFC light heavyweight champ is a special fighter, a unique blend of speed, length, and creativity. Bader is a grinder, a traditional cage fighter in the mold of Randy Couture, Mark Coleman, and his opponent at UFC 132, Tito Ortiz.
He's one of those guys that pioneered the sport. He's been a champion multiple times and held on to his belt and has fought tough guys. A lot of people are writing him off, but I think this is a tough fight.
Beating Ortiz is the first step Bader must take in reestablishing his credentials as a UFC title contender. Simply put, this is a fight that Bader must win. And if he wins this fight, he has his eye already set on another MMA icon, a fighter who Bader considers a role model in the cage, Strikeforce light heavyweight champ Dan Henderson.
We both have heavy right hands, we have a wrestling background. To see him at his age doing what he's doing is unbelievable. More power to him going out there and grabbing that Strikeforce belt. So out of respect and admiration, I definitely would love to fight him one day.
But that fight, if it ever happens, is a long way off, and Bader knows it. Right now, he's counting down to a battle that, if he wins convincingly, could launch Bader back into the heights of UFC title contention. For UltimateFighter.com, I'm Jason Teiken.